Should we just roast him when he gets on?
Oh, they just got a dog last night. Yeah, just be like, oh, so what? You think your new puppy is a little more important than the show?
You think you're better than us because you got a dog now? Yeah. Okay.
We welcome you to Wilk and Wish, your bi-weekly update on Utah athletes in the National Football League, coming to you live from Orem, Utah. It's Cole Wissinger, the co-host.
What's
I'm
up?
Tanner Wilkinson. He's, again, co-manager, kind of a threesome manager today. Also coming to live from Orem, just outside of Hobby Lobby there, one Mr. Jordan Howe. Not as good of a background as you had last year, Howie, but appreciate you hopping on with
Yeah.
us. And I think it's a good week to talk some Rams football. They play tonight for Thursday night football, coming off probably the best game of the entire year. And if you love points, that game was a higher scoring game than the high school game I did last night. Um,
In
and
basketball,
in
by the way.
basketball, yeah. Um, my final in basketball was 38-34. And it
Jeez.
was a good game. Like like everyone's asking, oh, both these teams suck, and I'm like, well, both teams just played really good, hard defense. Like it was just a really well executed defensive game plan by both teams. Not the case for the Rams or the Bills, but the Rams still got the win. Puka had, would you call it a career day? I mean,
I
it's
He's
up
got a
there.
tall bar to live up to
That's
for his
part of the
yeah.
career.
problem. Yeah. Some of the best at least one of the top 5 catches of the year with that toe tap on the sideline that had Tom Brady drooling. Uh, give us the lowdown of life as a Rams fan right now.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. First, I just want to say, yeah, I set the bar really high with my background on my first appearance on this highly acclaimed show. So I just figured I'd let just be a letdown this time. So that's my bad. But yeah, life as a Rams fan is good. We're what are we 6-6 right now?
Even I'll do you one better. You're 7-6.
We're 7. So we got a winning record right now. Holy cow! Which you know, 5 weeks in was a totally different story. Puka's hurt. Cooper's hurt. We don't know when they're coming back, and our offense is just terrible. Once we got those guys back, like we've been booming. Like we're kind of having like the Arizona State effect. We're just rolling over everyone right now. Yeah, it feels good. I like we can compete with anyone. At the first game of the year, we played the Lions, and we had our full offense and our full team, and we took them to overtime, right? I believe so. And yeah, now our team's healthy and we're doing good. We gotta have an uphill battle, but we're in control of our destiny, and I feel good. I feel good. I feel good about tonight against the Niners as well.
Well, it's tough all the way across the NFC West right now. So you got to feel good because there's another game in this division every single week that seems like it's going to determine the whole division. Rams got to be eyeing that Seattle game at the very, very end. But in order to get there, you got to win all your stuff in between and make sure that you are established. Because San Francisco proved just last week that they're no pushover, despite having a down year for what San Francisco is.
No, yeah, for real. Like the Niners, like when you think Christian McCaffrey's hurt and their offense is just done, then you got Juwan Jennings, and then you get Jordan Mason, and then Jordan Mason's hurt. Now you got Isaac Arenda, who looks pretty good. Now he's hurt, but I don't know. Yeah, I don't count out Kyle Shanahan. I think he's a good coach, but yeah, definitely. I think we have the upper hand. I think we should win this game easily, but you never know. You never know.
Looking at the future of the Rams, right? Like Matthew Stafford's age keeps getting brought up year after year, and he keeps just slinging it. I mean, the dude is like, I think he's the most modern day Brett Favre that we've had in the NFL in terms of just a pure dude who loves to. I mean, we see the sidearms, right? We're seeing that a lot more out of quarterbacks as we're coming along now. What are your thoughts? Do the Rams need to maybe find a successor to Stafford, or are you just kind of riding this train until it hits the tracks?
Oh, yeah, that's a good one. That's a good question. I think, yeah, we who's our I know we have Garoppolo.
Jimmy G right now.
We
And then
got Jimmy
Stetson
G.
Bennett.
Yeah. I don't know if Seth is the answer, but we got Jimmy G in the wings. I think he's solid enough. But yeah, I don't know if we want to. There's not really any big QBs next draft. I say we ride it. We ride this train until the wheels come off, and you know we haven't. It's been working so far, and so yeah. Honestly, yeah, we don't have any high draft picks. I don't know what QB would go after, anyways. But yeah, I say we hold on to Jimmy G. He's serviceable enough, and ride the Stafford train all the way to the Super Bowl, baby.
I mean, it's probably a better backup situation than they've had in past years, where we've seen Baker Mayfield before he was this iteration of Baker Mayfield, and then Brett Rippon and Carson Wentz. John Wofford was out there. Like, it seems like anytime Stafford goes out, that Sean McVay was just throwing up his hands and saying, "Okay, I guess we lost this one," and keeping his fingers crossed that the 36-year-old man would stay healthy. And he kind of has this year. That's really nice.
Yeah, no, yeah, that's actually honestly, yeah, I don't think it's been a while. I need to look back. I think it's been a while since he's had a run this long where he's been healthy because
Yeah.
usually he's got a couple, maybe 4 games where he's out. But yeah, that's a good point.
Well, let's get to a little bit of pick'em. You got a $25 Amazon gift card on the line. Cole, what? And that with no more buys left.
Yeah, we're back to the full complement of games,
so
which gives you a little bit of breathing room because there's now 13-3 is up there, 11 and a few 3-lossers, but the bar I believe is still set. Huh? Maybe is it really a 13-3? I feel like we had a better.
Is that from Connor?
Let's see. We have a 13-3. Oh, that was just you and me.
Yeah,
we're not eligible.
No.
Yeah. Oh, thank goodness.
It was Connor H is still with a 13-3 record, the best one.
Be glad Scott Wilkie didn't join 2 weeks ago because he went 16-0. I'm going to bring that up almost every show, I feel like, because that's just crazy to do that. And he wasn't a guest on the show. He just texted me, "Hey, on my pick'em group I'm in, went 16-0." So
Scott's full of it. I'm saying on the podcast right now, Scott's full of it. I don't buy that one bit.
His integrity being called into question.
Oh, we might have to have an answer next week.
Bring us both on next week.
Especially with the Philly drama going on. Let's get to Thursday Night Football. Rams in San Francisco taking on the Niners. I'm taking the Rams. I need a tie as a Cardinals fan. I'm rooting for a tie tonight, which is wild because I don't think you should be allowed to tie in the highest level of professional sports, but it's still a thing in the NFL, and it would really benefit the Cardinals if these teams would tie. But I think the Rams get it done tonight. I think they are just a little bit more healthy than the Niners at this point, Cole.
I mean, I'm going 49ers because I liked what I saw. Yeah, it was against Chicago last week, but also I think I will just continue to root for every NFC West team to merge at 500 from here on out. So all the ones that were under, I'll pick for them to win. All the ones above, I'll pick for them to lose because this has been the most chaotic division and it's been enjoyable.
Yeah, and just being an objective follower of football, it's going to be the Rams are going to win this one. Trent Williams is hurt. He's out. We got Jared Verse coming. We got Kobe Turner coming. Like, the Rams are going to be swarming. Like, I think the Rams defense is going to show out, which isn't really talked about a lot, but I think we're going to be good on defense, and we're also going to score a lot of touchdowns. So, Rams.
First up on the Sunday slate, Washington versus New Orleans. The Commanders and the Saints they've been respectable in some games that don't matter, but Washington really needs to start stringing some together if they want to remain in the wild card. They were, leaders in the clubhouse in their own division. I'm going to pick Washington here.
Yeah, this is a game I really need New Orleans to win as well as a Cardinal fan, just to give us as many options as possible to sneak in. It's not going to happen, though, this week. Derek Carr's out now. Even with that little fun run with the interim head coach in New Orleans is over. Too many injuries. And the Commanders are coming off a bye, so Jaden Daniels probably will look a little more healthy than he did the last couple of weeks. I'm taking the Commanders.
Yeah, I agree. I take the Commanders as well. The Saints had their little interim coach fire for 2 games, and now it's died out. So I think their luck's run out, and it's going to be the Commanders.
Speaking of teams that just aren't good, the New York Giants are hosting the Baltimore Ravens. The Ravens are coming off a bye. I'm a little surprised it's only a 16-point line right now, to be honest, with how bad the Giants have been. I'm taking the Ravens, and I'm taking them big. A fresh Lamar and a fresh Derrick Henry.
Especially in the first week of the fantasy playoffs for so many people, right? If you survived last week's bye week for the Ravens and made it into the playoffs, I think they will reward you this week against the Giants. I'm also picking Baltimore.
Who's the quarterback for the Giants this week? Is it Tommy DeVito?
I think it's going to be Drew Lock again.
Does it matter?
It matters. Just kidding. Yeah, it's going to be the Ravens. That was an easy one.
All right. Kansas City and Cleveland. We got the Chiefs, who, no matter who they're playing, no matter how bad their opponent, it will be a one-score game, but it will be a Chiefs victory. I will take the Chiefs.
Yeah, I mean, the Chiefs are still an opportunistic team. It's why they win these close games. They take advantage just right when you think you have them. A team will make a mistake and they'll take advantage of it. Jameis Winston makes a lot of mistakes, so I am taking Kansas City.
Guys, one of these teams has aura, and one of these teams has Taylor Swift. I'm taking the team with aura and going with the Browns. Jameis Winston is going to
Yes,
pull out the win today. I mean Sunday. Sorry.
he will be the most popular man in America if he does.
He
He might
and
already he might already be the most popular guy in America
yeah.
right now, but
And Jameis is the one to do it. All right, he's the team of destiny this week.
How about the shift in general from getting out from under Deshaun Watson and into what Jameis provides? Just the locker room, the fans, everything else. What a guy.
Yeah, seriously. I don't know why it took him an injury to put out Jameis Winston, but I'm glad it eventually happened.
the New York Football Jets, another bad team in New York, takes on the Jacksonville Jaguars, another bad team out of Florida.
Ooh.
I'm just going to take the Jets because I just think they're still a better football team than the Jaguars as presently constituted. These are the two worst franchises in football right now. Maybe you can lump the Raiders in with that too, but yeah, the dumpster bowl, fire bowl. They're down there in Northeast Florida. I'm taking the Jets.
Jets have already fired their coach this season. Doug Peterson acts every day like he has been fired, and he will be once we get to the offseason. The Jaguars were in line for another first overall pick, and they ruined it, and they won the game last week. They're not really in the quarterback market, so, the difference between pick 1 and pick 5 maybe doesn't matter too much to them. But Aaron Rodgers is certainly trying to win games because he's going to go to some other team and try to still be Aaron Rodgers next year, no matter what that looks like or what our opinions of that is. And so in a game between a bunch of guys that are definitely trying to win and a team that probably shouldn't, I will take the Jets.
I am voting in line with you guys on this one. I think Aaron Rodgers is a better QB and can manage the game well enough, even though I don't like him, but I think the Jets will pull it out.
What's that meme that's gone around this last week about how his ex-fiance said it was the worst couple years of her life when she was with
It was
him?
like
And
torture.
all these Jets fans are just like, same girl, same.
Have you seen that article by The Onion? Very well-vetted news source that says parents are discouraging their kids from playing football out of fear of getting drafted by the Jets. That's all I have to say.
The BYU audience understands that effect.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Do we need to have Lisa Wilson on to talk about that? I think I would be doghoused for a year if we had Lisa Wilson on this podcast. That's how much Claire does not like her. And I've never been doghoused in our whole marriage. It would happen over that.
Yeah, man, that's saying something, Tanner, because you're like the dream husband. Everyone agrees.
3 out of 3 people surveyed on this podcast.
Yeah.
Send it to Family Feud.
Look, I mean, the Jets are a death knell for a quarterback. The Cincinnati Bengals used to be that. I don't think we talk enough about how magical Joe Burrow is, in that Cincinnati is at all relevant and he hasn't entirely exploded in his career. He took the Cincinnati Bengals to a Super Bowl. That's wonderful. This season hasn't quite gone together. He wants to keep the band back together for next year. Talking about, I mean, he might just pay T. Higgins out of his contract if they can't get it done in Cincinnati. I'm going to take Cincinnati over Tennessee in this game.
Yeah, you look at one-score games, and if you flip the Chiefs and the Bengals, they'd almost be in opposite situations. Kansas City has finished games. Cincinnati rarely has this year. I mean, they have a couple times, but yeah, this won't be a game where they need to eke out a close win.
Yeah, no, this has been an easy week to predict wins so far, guys. It's going to be the Bengals. It's not even, it won't even be close this game either.
It gets more complicated.
This one is actually a little complicated. Dallas is in Carolina. Somehow this game is on Fox and across most of the country during one of the blocks. I'm going to take Dallas. I think after they lost on Monday, Carolina has played teams really close, though. I like. Oh man, I've actually flipped on this a lot, but I'm gonna go with Dallas. That's what my gut's telling me right now, in a close, very low scoring game.
Carolina, Vegas very favors Carolina for the first time in a year and a half, 2 years almost. Crazy stuff, and I'm still picking Dallas. I'm still picking against him. Bryce Young's looked okay, but there are still major flaws to the game in general, no matter how, like, he has gotten some of that number one pick magic back. I'm still not sold that he's good, and so I'm going to take Dallas.
Yeah, I'm taking Dallas too. I forgot who they played last week, but they should have won that game besides that muff punt. And they're looking a little better. So I think Cowboys got the momentum going into this one.
Miami and Houston.
Ooh,
Miami's playoff chances still exist. They're very, very slim. And Houston could probably still just sleepwalk into this division championship, but I'm going to take Miami to keep things relatively interesting because Houston really has not been able to. I don't know. We've talked about it before on this show, but it's just not their year. It seems like.
Yeah, the Magic's just not there, and the Magic's kind of there for Miami with Tua back at the moment. Mike McDaniel's having fun again, joking around with reporters and whatnot. I'm taking the Finns as well. I feel like Tua doesn't lose to bad teams, or hasn't yet this year. Houston's not a bad team, but it's also not one of these really good teams that they've had to play with their difficult schedule. So I'm taking Miami.
not so fast, Wilkenwist. The real winner of this game will actually be the Texans. I think this is the week that CJ Stroud gets it back together. The Texans defense has been solid, and there's a guy on that team that's known to give cheap hits. So I think we might get Tua injured, and we definitely have a good chance of winning it.
Oh boy, is he still suspended?
I think Toa got suspended for 3 games, so he won't be playing in this game specifically.
Oh, dang it.
But
I'm still going with the Texans there. But yeah, forget
maybe
that
D'Amico Ryans brings his old linebacker buddy Brian Cushing off and signs him for a game to.
yeah, then.
Colts in Denver. This is a fascinating one because the Colts still have a shot at the playoffs, both via wild card and or the division. Somehow, this Denver defense is very opportunistic and takes advantage of when you make mistakes. Anthony Richardson still makes a lot of mistakes at this point. I'm taking the Broncos at home.
This is the one that there are some really solid games down on this schedule. This is the one I've vacillated back and forth between the most because it seems like this Denver defense should be able to make it really, really hard on Anthony Richardson, but what they have is a lot of speed, and they trap guys that don't have a lot of movement. We saw that just go horrifically for Kirk Cousins, who has no pocket mobility. Anthony Richardson might be like accidentally forced into doing more Anthony Richardson things because the pocket's going to collapse, and he's bigger than some of these, lean edge rushers that Denver brings at him. And I think Indianapolis might have a real shot at this.
Yeah, I agree with you, Cole. I'm going with Indianapolis on this one. I think, he for all his faults and flaws, I think Anthony Richardson is kind of getting back to being what they thought they were getting when they drafted him. I think he's going to get the W this week.
Tampa Bay versus the Chargers. Chargers, lost a rough one as everyone does against the Chiefs, and so all of a sudden, if that wild card door is cracked for Indianapolis, it's going to take Denver losing, which they would be able to do if they won that game, or the LA Chargers, and Tampa Bay is starting to eke their way into the inside track on the NFC South. But I'm going to take the Chargers. I love this Jim Harbaugh coach team, and I think they secure the playoffs right here.
I'm going to go with Tampa Bay. I kind of like the momentum that's going on there. I think this might have a chance to be the second best game of the week, just in terms of two teams that are playing really well. You like how that comes up on the matchup side of things. I'm going to go with the Bucs, man. I'm taking Baker on the road.
Yeah, I'd second that one, Tanner. I'm going with the Bucs as well. The Chargers running back room is kind of a mess, and the Buccaneers have a really good run defense. Mike Evans, he's determined to get 1,000 yards this season. I think he's going to go off. I'm all for the Buccaneers this week.
And for the first time ever, a game Wilk and Wiss will be at together on Sunday. The Patriots in Arizona. The Cardinals looking to break a 3-game slide. I think this is a perfect time to play a team like New England, like Arizona's got after Seattle, Minnesota, Seattle the last 3 weeks with a bye mixed in there. Cardinals have got to be feeling pretty good about what they've got going here. Um, I like the Cards at home, and I kind of like them big.
I'm also going to take the Cardinals, and we will be able to do some live reporting next Monday to see what the vibes were like in the stadium for what is likely going to be a big win to keep the Cardinals playoff hopes alive.
Man, I'm looking forward to that episode, guys. But yeah, I'll take the Cardinals for their get right game this week.
Still love Drake May. Actually, very excited to see Drake May in person because I've been so high on him for the last 2 years. So excited to see what kind of he looks like as well. Just from a non rooting against him thing, throwing it out there. So
now we're going to be busy at a game, but I might have Red Zone pulled up on my phone in front of me because this 225 slate is really exciting. We've gone through 3 of them, and then these last 2, some of the best teams in football, record-wise at least. Buffalo and Detroit. After Buffalo was in the game of the week just last week against your Rams, they get the Super Bowl favorite, the best team in all of football. It's the Detroit Lions this week, and I'm going to take Buffalo. I'm going to say that this keeps going, and what Josh Allen can do with a depleted and injured Detroit, especially their pass rush, but everywhere on their defense, I think the Bills get this.
Yeah, there's going to be a week Detroit loses before we get to the postseason, and it's not going to affect their seat. I don't think at the end of the day it affects their seeding or number 1 overall, even though the Vikings are still in pursuit there. I like the Bills as well. I think I don't want to call it a get-right game because you don't use Detroit as a get-right game. I just think it's an opportunity. Josh Allen's going to take that and seize the moment.
I'm going with Detroit. I think Detroit's really good at home. Well, they're really good everywhere, but I just think since it's home game, they're both really good teams. I'm going to give the edge to Detroit on this one.
Yeah, you should. It was kind of crazy, the two of us. And Tanner, the 2 of us picked against Detroit just last week also because we keep waiting for surely there will be a Detroit loss.
Even though we
go
like
against tough
Detroit,
teams. And
like where Dan Campbell stands on this account. Like, I mean, dude's got some cojones, that's for sure. So Cole, your Steelers are in Philadelphia. The battle for Pennsylvania, a 10-win team and an 11-win team. A little bit of drama in Philly this week. I'm going to take the Eagles at home.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Eagles. I'm starting A.J. Brown in every fantasy league where I can grab him. Guillotine, and I went out and I tried to get it. Like, getting A.J. Brown this week, if you play daily fantasy, I think it could be. He's squeaky wheeling, and the last time that he played the Steelers team, he made him look like a fool. Now, Joey Porter Jr. is a little bit better than whatever we were trotting out last time, but yeah, I remember distinctly A.J. Brown just pointing at everyone to sit down in that whole Steelers secondary the last time they did this, and for a duo that needs to, we've used it before, to get right, the Steelers secondary, they've been good, but there's still an opportunity to do that.
Yeah, as much as I like Mike Tomlin more than Nick Sirianni, I think Mike Tomlin's a better coach. I think the Eagles are kind of figuring things out the past month. So I think the Eagles are going to win this one.
That hurts. Battle of Pennsylvania, we're all 3 going Eagles, but it seems like it should happen.
Well, yeah, when you turn to Eagles, that's what made me switch, actually, Cole, because I'm like, Cole's the Steelers guy on here, so I don't want to. Yeah.
The Steelers are, and especially George Pickens is still questionable. He didn't practice yesterday. Russell Wilson struggles to find someone to bring down those 50-50 balls if it's not Pickens. So yeah, there's just things are lining up where it could be Philadelphia's game, even if the Steelers can figure things out by the time they get to the playoffs. Sunday Night Football comes early because then we got 2 Monday night games this week. Big battle in the NFC, Green Bay and the Seattle Seahawks, and I'm going to take the Packers to bring the Seahawks down closer to 500, as I told you I would.
I am rooting my butt off for the Packers. I think Seattle wins where they're at home. I think that crowd's going to be very energized given this team's play over the last 3-4 weeks. And there's still just something there with Jordan Love that we're just waiting for him to explode, and it hasn't happened yet. I don't know that it's going to happen on the road. I don't know that he's fully healthy. I don't know that he's going to be fully healthy until they go into next year between the groin and the knee. I'm taking Seattle, rooting hard for the Pack to make this a little bit more interesting, as Cole mentioned. And even though they've got the tiebreaker on Arizona, and that doesn't look good for me on that front, still rooting for the Pack. Picking Seattle, though.
I'm going with Seattle as well. I think they just got too many weapons on offense. Yeah, and I don't trust Jordan Love as a previous manager owner of Jordan Love. I don't trust him. I think the Seahawks are going to win this one.
Monday Night Football. We got a doubleheader. It's been a minute since we had a doubleheader on Monday night. Bears in Minnesota. Like, it's going to be Minnesota. Chicago. Oh man, they just need to get to the end of the season. That's what it comes down to as a Bear for the Bears right now. And Kevin O'Connell should probably win Coach of the Year. Honestly, like I know it's probably going to go to like a Dan Campbell but given the injuries, given some of the transactions Minnesota had this summer, to be this good, an 11-win team, are they going to win the Super Bowl? Probably not. But I think Kevin O'Connell deserves a lot of credit.
And you know who else deserves credit is Brian Flores. I know that as a head coach, and even the more we learn about some of the interactions between him and some of the offensive guys, especially Tua when he was a head coach, right? It doesn't seem like he's going to get that opportunity again. But this is a man that is perfectly suited to be one of the best defensive coordinators in the game. And Caleb Williams and the line protecting him still have not proven that they can deal with any kind of blitzing. And what does Brian Flores do better than anyone else in the league? It is blitz. And that is why I'm taking the Vikings.
Yeah, I agree. I'm going with Vikings as well. I know the Bears have a good secondary, but you can either follow your guys on Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison goes off, or you follow your guys on Jordan Addison and Justin Jefferson goes off. There's just too many guys. They can't stop them.
Or they both go off.
Yeah, or they both. Yeah, they did both go off and get the picks.
And so after all those really competitive games and amazing matchups all the way through the Sunday slate, and Red Zone's going to be exciting, the final Monday night game is the Falcons and the Raiders. And it doesn't matter. And I guess I'll pick the Falcons because the Raiders are an actual mess, and Antonio Pierce is probably going to be out of a job also. But the Falcons have been sneakily just so disappointing during the course of this season. They only have a couple more weeks to prove that all of that was worth it in the offseason, and I'm going to take the Falcons.
Yeah, I think Bijan has a big game, which is really good for me in Guillotine League. I like the Falcons at home on a Monday. That means Chick-fil-A is actually available inside Mercedes-Benz Stadium. I think that's some good juju right there. I think I'm going to have them take that, the Falcons.
Yeah, I think Big Kirko, he's feeling angry about how bad he played last week. I think he's just going to take out his anger against the Raiders and dominate. So Falcons.
Well, there you have it. Yeah. Jordan Howe, it's been a pleasure. Appreciate you hopping on the pod outside of a Hobby Lobby. That's a first. That is a first. So best of luck with the picks. Cole, I'll see you Saturday, man.
Yes,
we'll be heading to the airport, making it a Wilkin Wist weekend. So, Jordan, appreciate you hopping on. And Cole, I'll catch up with you on Saturday. And you, the listeners, we'll catch up with you on Monday. Appreciate our subscribers, by the way. We're up to 23 subscribers, 24 subscribers on YouTube. Ooh. So,
those 23 know ball. They know ball. Yeah. Anyway, Tanner, Cole, you guys are the best. Thanks for having me on. I am honored.
We love it.
It was a good time.
See you, boys.
That is Jordan Howe. He's Cole Wissinger. I'm Tanner Wilkinson. You're tuned in to Wilkin Wist, your bi-weekly update on Utah athletes in the National Football League. We'll catch up with you on Monday.